Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today I am filming my 10 baby must-haves. So obviously Rowan is only like 3.5, almost 4 months old. So this is mostly just my must-haves for those first few months, things that I have found to really help us out and kind of get us through the tough times. So before I get started, make sure you guys go ahead and check us out on Instagram and suggest your video ideas for future videos. I am trying to sit down and kind of pre-film a bunch of videos for you guys. That way, when we are traveling to Hawaii that first week, there are videos already scheduled to kind of go out. That way I don't really have to stress about it. So any video ideas that you guys have, go on over to our Instagram. I'll have it written on the screen as well as down below in the description box for you guys to go ahead, pop over there and let us know. The first thing that I found to be a must-have, and is honestly probably my biggest must-have, is Gripe water. We still use this to this day, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon because it has helped so much. Around like 4 or 5 weeks, he actually started to get really colicky and have some really bad gas issues. So we started to use Gripe water for that, and that helped relieve so much. It made it so much easier, and he would actually go to sleep a lot better. And then in addition to that, we now use it mostly for hiccups. So Rowan, for some reason, even though he burps like a crazy animal, he gets the worst hiccups. I don't know why. He doesn't even need to eat. Like, he will wake up from a nap and all of a sudden he has the hiccups. And of course, he hates having the hiccups. He gets really upset about it. So we actually use the Gripe water for hiccups now, and it helps so much. It relieves them almost instantly. So definitely suggest this for you guys. And just a little side note, I actually will have all of these things linked down below. I don't know if it's going to be the exact ones that we have. I'm going to try and make it the exact ones that we have. But that way you guys can go ahead and check them out and add them to your registries if you're shopping for that, or add them to your cart if you're shopping for your friends or whatever. So the next thing is a big must-have for us in car rides. Rowan absolutely hates car rides for some reason. Usually about halfway through, he'll start to kind of doze off to sleep. But for the first half, he will be wide awake, he'll be screaming, he'll be crying. So we actually get Rattles and we hook those on to his car seat, and he will look at those. Help entertain him so much. For whatever reason, it's been like the best thing to kind of entertain him. He doesn't like things that like ding or anything like that, but like Rattles, the things that have like little circles with the balls in them, he loves those. I will have a couple linked down below. We specifically have an owl and an avocado. He loves his avocado, so I'll have those ones linked down below if I can find them. The next thing is something that was a must-have for us, especially around the time that he was super colicky, and that was a sound machine. He loves white noise. We found it to be super helpful just to help get him down to sleep, get him to nap. For whatever reason, when he was colicky, he would just scream and would not relax. So this white noise, for whatever reason, would chill him out instantly. I remember there was times in the car where he was screaming and I would go ahead and throw on a white noise sound and he would instantly chill the heck out. So definitely suggest a sound machine, some sort of white noise maker, super duper helpful. So the next thing is actually this specific brand of bottles called Boon bottles. These are the only bottles I've found Rowan to actually enjoy and actually take. Obviously, I've mentioned in the past that we do bottle feed. He'll get formula as well as breast milk, mostly formula at this point, but we tried, when we were transitioning him to bottles, we tried every type of bottle. I got the Amazon like welcome box for your registry, and in that we got literally like 5 different types of bottles. We got Advent bottles, we had Komotomo, we had Tommy Tippies, we had Dr. Brown's, like we had every type of bottle you could think of that you specifically usually hear of. And we tried all of those, and he absolutely hated it, or they would like leak on him. The caps wouldn't work. I don't know if it was just the kinds that we got, but for whatever reason they were not working, or eventually would just start leaking on us. So because I got that Amazon box, I actually had Boon bottle in there, and I figured, you know what, let's go ahead and give this a try, and we did, and he loves it. It's super easy to clean, and it also has a little silicone pouch on the inside of it that will deflate or something like that as he eats. That way there's less air bubbles getting into it. So I definitely suggest these bottles. Not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, but I'm just saying they're the only ones that he really enjoyed, and I think they're really cute and they work really well for us. So I definitely suggest Boon bottles. Next thing we got is actually the Snuggle Me Lounger. I'll go ahead and have this one linked down below because I definitely know that I can find that. We use this specifically to co-sleep, and it works amazing. We've had a couple other loungers and he just doesn't sleep in them as well during like nap times. He's fine like sitting in them, but like if I put him down, like right now, for example, while he's napping, if I wanted to put him down while I filmed, it would be a little difficult in a lot of the lounge. But the Snuggle Me actually works amazing. It's designed to kind of like snuggle the baby and hug them as if they're being held, which Rowan loves to be held, loves being in people's arms, which is kind of my fault because I've been just always holding him since day one, which I'm okay with because eventually I'm not going to be able to hold him because he'll be too big, so I'll take it while I can. But this lounger works amazing for us, so I definitely suggest it. It is definitely pricey, but I don't think it's as pricey as the DockATot, and I heard a lot of people say that this is actually better than the DockATot. I don't know, I've never tried the DockATot, but I do like the Snuggle Me, and we'll probably be getting that for any of my future kids. Unfortunately, right now, we don't have ours because we actually were packing up the trailer today to get sent over to Hawaii, and that accidentally got on the trailer, so we don't have it. So we might either need to buy a new one if he doesn't sleep well without it. If he does sleep well without it, then great, but if he doesn't, then we might have to buy a new one. So the next thing I highly suggest getting is receiving blankets. Don't waste your time with burp cloths. We barely use our burp cloths because they're not really big enough. Sure, they'll fit like the shoulder area, but otherwise he's always moving around. They'll always fall off. We find that if we get a receiving blanket, which is like not as like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's a little bit different than a swaddle. I don't know the difference, but it's definitely like fabric wise different than a swaddle. And if we go ahead and just kind of like drape it over ourselves like this and then we burp him, that works a million times better. So we have a million receiving blankets that I thought we'd never use, and we actually use those a lot more than the burp cloths. So I definitely suggest receiving blankets over burp cloths. The next thing I super suggest, especially for people who have C-sections, is the Boppy like breastfeeding pillow. It's like one that like wraps around you like this, something like that, but I specifically use the Boppy one. It worked amazing. Obviously, when you have a C-section, you have like an incision right here, so it's really tender and it's hard to kind of hold up a baby to breastfeed like this. So we actually did like the football hold like this and then use the lounger around me this way. That way it wasn't pressing on my C-section in any way, shape, or form. He wasn't putting any weight on my C-section incision, and we were still able to comfortably breastfeed. So I definitely suggest this for any breastfeeding mom, but especially if you are expecting to have a C-section. The next thing is back to kind of feeding situations is a formula blender. We got one, I think, from like Dr. Brown. But if you are going to be using formula pretty much regularly for your baby, definitely get this. It's basically a nice big pitcher that you can measure out your water in and then add your formula, and you can make a whole like day's worth of formula right then and there, store it in the fridge. That way you don't have to constantly be getting bottles, measuring it, adding the formula, shaking it up, and it will also go ahead and mix it up for you. That way you don't have to worry about if it's all mixed up or anything. The second to last big must-have for us was the Swaddle Me, but specifically the Swaddle MeDeluxe. We loved this because it had the zipper around the legs, so you could go ahead and just unzip it, and then you can change their diaper in the middle of the night, which makes diaper changing so much easier, especially in those first few weeks, because obviously they're constantly pretty much swaddled in those first few weeks, and obviously also always needing their diaper changed. So it made it really, really easy. And it also just made swaddling a million times easier. If we used like muslin swaddles or anything, he would instantly break out of them. But the Swaddle Me's always pretty much work for us. And the very, very last thing on our must-have list is the Fridababy Nose Sucker. I think it's something like that. Again, I'll have this one linked down below as well. But essentially it's like this little tube with a little like nozzle on the end that you can suck their boogers out of their nose. I know it sounds disgusting, and it kind of is, but it's definitely like sanitary. Obviously you don't have something on the market that's like a risk of sanitary, and it worked so much better than those little suckers that you get from the hospital when you go home, or like the little first aid kits if you get a first aid kit at like Target or something. Works so much better. Rowan actually got a cold when he was about 4 weeks old, and he was super duper stuffed up, and you could just like hear it every time he breathed. So I found it to be super useful if I got this and just suck it all out. It worked a million times better, I'm telling you, than the little nose aspirator things. So I really suggest this. This is probably right up there with the Gripe water on like top things to get, especially if you're having your baby around allergy season or like in the cold flu season. And that is everything for this video. I hope this gave you guys some ideas of what to put on your registry and kind of let you guys know what we thought was absolute must-haves for our first few months of having a baby. Let us know what you guys' baby must-haves are down below in the comments. Make sure you go ahead, check out our Instagram and suggest some video ideas to us, and we will see you guys next time. Bye!